Anyway, so I'm back again. Thank you all in advance for listening. Tonight I wanted to talk about, how many of you read the newsletter regularly? Oh, that's a lot. Cool. You may have noticed in the letter from the president, I talked a little bit about some of our priorities for this year. So to come up with a title for this, because we wanted to talk a little bit about this tonight, I just kind of hit on the three words: creativity, image, and numbers. And next. So as you know, anytime I try to figure out what our priorities should be, or I'm staying awake at night or whatever, I think, well, what are our objectives? What are we trying to do as an organization? And this is paraphrased, but I think fairly accurately, from the purpose of our organization as stated in the bylaws. Basically, we're helping artists and craftspeople exhibit and sell their work. We want to promote the development of art and craft in the community, and we want to support educational activities as it relates to art and craft. And quite frankly, I think we're doing all of those very well at present. So the question is, what else can we do to improve on the mission that we're already meeting at present? Next. So in thinking about that, I came up with these priorities that I'd like to see us focus on this year, and that's to rebuild the membership of the NVHG. We'll talk about each of these in more detail. We also want to inspire people to even be more creative, to stretch themselves, to think outside the box. And the third one, the third one has to do with building the image of NVHG in the community. And all of these, there's a reason, and you will find as I move forward that a lot of these, they're all interrelated. If we do one, that helps the other two. Now, if you were looking at the next slide, you would see a graph that shows that in the last 5 or 6 years, our membership has declined by about 20%. It was 142 back in 2010, and now it's down to around 113, 115. We may have gotten a couple of members tonight. 118. We're at 118 now. Thank you for joining. And so why do we need to do this? All of us are getting in shows, and it might feel really comfortable. But here's the issue. It's about the numbers. It has a big impact on finances. We're getting less income from dues, so that means we have to, at present, we are not able to cover our standard operating expenses from the dues that we take in from members. And that's an issue. It makes us, for operating expenses, have to dip into our savings from time to time to handle basic costs. This year, just as an example, because of the amount of we projected what we would get in dues, and we're coming in, unless a miracle occurs in the next 2 or 3 months, we'll probably come in close to $2,000 short of that projected number. So that's $2,000 that has to come out of savings. We have authorized, and quite rightly so, some up to $2,000 or $2,500 for new signage. We've had some web expenses, so it's, as you can see, we're not in any trouble at the moment, especially if you read the treasurer's report, but this is a trend that we definitely don't want to continue. Adding to the membership also has an impact on show quality. Right now we're barely filling our shows, and we're kind of hoping that nobody cancels at the last minute. What that means is that if we increase our membership, then we have more juried members applying to our shows, which means more competitiveness for getting into the shows, and that inspires everybody to be more creative and to work harder to make the coolest things, so that the show chairs make sure they have space for you in your show. It also, the greater creativity in general, improves the show quality, which benefits everyone. It brings in more people. There's more diversity in the shows. There's new stuff every year that people will be able to choose from, and that keeps customers coming back. It will also have a very positive impact on the numbers. The more income from dues helps us do more to meet our mission. We fill up our current shows, and then we get to spend more on publicity and other niceties, the coffee, that kind of stuff. That all comes from, more members and more dues. We can offer better scholarships to local students. If we're making ends meet, then we have some left over to add even more to the scholarship fund. And then we also have the financial foundation to add shows down the road. If we get a whole lot of members, and not everybody can get into the 2 shows that we have, that's the perfect time to start talking again about having a new show so that more people can be accommodated. So it's kind of all boats rise with the tide. We can do more of everything, as our membership grows. Are we catching up? We're almost caught up. And of course, it has good impact on show quality. As show quality improves, we get more customers, which improves finances, which means we can spend more on the shows. We get more members who want to be in our shows because it becomes a kind of a prestige thing. This is a show that becomes hard to get in, and you have to be really good to apply, and so people start thinking, well, gee, I wonder if I can get in. And that's cool. You want to create a desire to be in part of these shows among people who are prospective members. And we also get more support internally as well as externally, other rec centers, et cetera, for sponsoring additional shows. One of them right now, BJ's been making great strides with the Wakefield show. As we grow and more of our members, are eligible for that show, they may say, hey, you guys take it over. You all know what you're doing. And that's good for us. So how do we build the membership? One thing that we haven't been doing as good a job as we might is reaching out to local artists and conveying the privileges, as they say, of membership. One idea that we have, and I think as Marianne indicated, when I get finished here, we're going to go into groups and talk about how we can help build on each of these priorities. But one idea that we had, and we're hoping that you guys will do this as show season is starting, is go around the shows that you're attending or in and collect business cards of local artists who you think might be a good fit for the Guild. What we want to do is build a database so that we can reach out to them, and we can have really, nice, cool, whatever membership emails written up and invite them to join us and explain why it would be really good for them. We also, in order to build a membership, we want to do more to welcome both new and long-standing members and ensure that they're actually getting all the benefits of the Guild that they can. Obviously, the mentoring people have started with the new and prospective member hangout. We want to make everybody feel welcome. We want to go away from being afraid that somebody might be a competitor and embrace all of the new ideas and creativity that come into the Guild with new members. Okay, next.
Which one are you on?
I'm on priority 2.
Am I ahead of you?
No, you're a little bit behind. I love this quote. We want to inspire more creativity, and as you probably can't read the name down there at the bottom, this is from Albert Einstein, who said, creativity is contagious, pass it on. Why inspire creativity? In part, it's for your own success, which should hit close to home. You should be having fun, and being creative is fun. As another quote from Albert Einstein, I had no idea he said so much about creativity, but he said that creativity is intelligence having fun. So let your intelligence and everything else have some fun and stretch your boundaries, do new and different things, take classes, learn from other people in the guild. Everybody here has such unique and wonderful skill sets. We need to be sharing all of that around so that everybody gets more, gets more input and gets more creativity. We also want to differentiate your art from anything else that people can find. If you go to a show and there's 47 people who are selling this widget, then nobody's going to do particularly well. But if your widgets are different from the other widgets, and it's a meaningful difference, you're going to be the one who sells more widgets. And it also helps you, you will be able to keep your current customers, and you will gain new ones, which of course is money in your pocket. Always a good thing. We also want to inspire more creativity for the guild's success. We want to be able to differentiate our shows from other shows that happen around this time of year. If people decide, well, I'm going to go to 3 shows this fall, we want them to pick one of ours. And the reason they're going to pick one of ours is not only are they available on that weekend, but they know to expect that they will see things that they don't see elsewhere. They know that we'll have new and different things every year, and that the creativity is high and diverse, and they don't have to walk 87 aisles to see everything. So we want, our shows are the size they are, but we want them to be really special shows that nobody else has got shows like that. What that does is it keeps our current show attendees from coming back and attracting new show attendees. And it also attracts new members, because people who come to the shows and realize how cool our shows are, they're going to want to be in the guild so they can be in those shows as well. Okay. And for the community, this goes back to the mission where we're helping build art and craft in the community. It inspires other people to exercise their creativity in art and craft. They may want to try something new when they see something in the show and say, that's really cool, I want to learn how to make that. And it also, we're helping to teach people to appreciate and recognize the value of art and craft in their lives. Why should you go to Walmart and buy pot holders when you can get much cooler pot holders here? In all things, there was a movement that started after World War II when everything was being mass produced, and there was a movement back to buying things that was handmade because it was different from what everybody else has. And that's something that we can leverage, that desire from. People don't want the same thing that all of their neighbors and friends have. They want something different. Next. And how can we inspire more creativity? Well, as we've been doing and will continue doing, we want to uphold the highest standards for creativity, originality, and craftsmanship for both current and new members. This should inspire everybody to be more creative, to make sure that everything is done with the best possible craftsmanship. Those are the things that are going to be really important as we sell material in our shows. We want to, whoops, that's not even the right page. Is it the right page? Increase? Nope. Oh yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. Okay. So we want to increase our focus on creativity, originality, and craftsmanship in our jurying process. And we also want people to consider collaboration with other people in different categories. Think about how you can work with someone else and come up with some cool mixed media items. Your creativity and interest will inspire someone else's, and so on, and so on, and so on. And you also, we need to probably be a little bit more free about exchanging ideas and processes and experiences. That's not to say that you need to give up your trade secrets, but for people who are still learning and are behind you, freely offer them help and tell them how to solve problems that you figured out 10 or 15 years ago. Okay, next. And the third priority is to improve the NVHG's image. I don't know if you can read what all these people are saying, but it's the first guy on the left says, "Did you hear about?" And the next guy says, "No way, really?" And the third guy says, "Are you serious?" And the fourth guy says, "Oh, yuck." We definitely want to avoid the "oh, yuck" response. But why should we improve the NVHG's image? Well, more members. It gets us more members because more prestige for the organization. We can attract other really highly talented artisans. We'll get more customers at our shows. And additional members also bring in additional customers who may purchase from any or all of us. Plus, we will open up again the opportunity to sponsor additional shows because everybody will say, "Hey, those NVHG shows are really good. Let's see if we can get them to do a show at our rec center." This is becoming unwieldy. And how to improve the image? That goes back to where I was before. We want to uphold the highest standards for creativity, originality, and craftsmanship. We want to do more to promote the Guild and its mission in the community. Heretofore, we've spent a lot of our publicity dollars and so forth on our shows, which is really good. What we want to do now is take that the next step and make sure that all of the publicity for the shows are tying back to the Handcrafters Guild so that we're getting credit for the great shows as well. And to do that, we want to develop a consistent look and feel for all of the NVHG outreach items, which we're in the process of doing. As you know, we're working on all new signage. We'll be taking a look at some of our membership recruiting materials so that everything looks alike, so that when people start seeing various pieces of it in the marketplace, they're going to say, "Oh yeah, I've seen that group before. They're really out there." And my last slide, the conclusions. So those are the 3 priorities again: build a membership, inspire more creativity, build the image. And these 3 priorities are all important, and all of them will help us do a better job of meeting our mission. And working on all of these priorities will help each of us individually, it will help the Guild, and it will also help the community. Now my last slide. This is from Bruce Springsteen. Anyway, so with that, I will hand it back over to Mary Ann. Were there any questions? Yes, ma'am.
I have a suggestion.
Yes, ma'am.
If all of us put the Handcrafters Guild logo on our business cards, that would go a long way to recognition of the group, first of all, and then based on the quality of that person's work.
That is true. What Sonia is saying is she suggests that we put our logo on our business cards. I believe we also have a logo that speaks to juried member of the NVHG, which is probably even a better choice for putting on your business cards.
Sure.
But the idea is great. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Or on your website, put that you are a member.
And on your website, and on any literature, postcards, etc. Your Facebook page. Your Etsy store.
Your Oz statement.
There you go. Anything and everything. Your birth certificate. All right. Yeah, right. Yeah, okay, so here I'm giving this back to Mary Ann, and she will get you guys organized to help brainstorm on each of these priorities.